So I'm going to start out with a couple of examples of what happens when you have an integrated phone solution with Wealthbox, some notifications that you get with incoming calls. I'm going to do that via a screenshot because I do have my notifications disabled for the purposes of this webinar. So in the live environment, I'll explain how it would work for you and what you're able to do with those notifications. We'll do some outbound calling. We'll show how the click to call works with Intulse, and how a call gets logged. You do have a couple of options with the integration as far as how do you want your calls to be logged in Wealthbox? Do you want them logged as a note? That is the default. Or you can choose to have them logged as a task. And if you choose a task, you can actually set it to make that task marked as not completed so that you could do some workflows or some things following that. So I'll get into that as well. And much like Jenna did, I'm going to hit this at a high level and just kind of give you guys a taste of what is possible. And then for those who would like more in-depth personalized demos, speaking specifically about your firm, we're happy to get that scheduled after the fact. So without further ado, let's go ahead and generate an incoming call so I can get a live call on here for us. And I'll go ahead and answer this. Now, I am answering this on the computer, which you're going to have an option with our solution. You can answer your phone calls on your desktop laptop. You can answer them on your mobile device because our app runs natively on your iPhone or Android device as well. You just need to enable the virtual phone there. Or I could have answered this call on my desk phone. It doesn't matter what device you're using to access your extension. You get all of the same functionality, which makes it super convenient and helpful. Now, what we didn't see that would normally show up in your environment with that incoming call is this notification down here in the lower right-hand corner. And basically what it's saying is a person named Alfred Pennyworth is calling in. And the reason that we know that is because you have the phone number that he's calling from in Wealthbox associated with him. You see where it says open Wealthbox here. If you click that in a live environment, it takes you right to his record. It opens a new tab in the browser, takes you to Alfred's record, and you're better prepared to handle that phone call. You could literally be in there before you answer the call, which is super helpful. Now, in some environments, especially if you have like a reception model in your firm where a few people or one person answers most of the calls and then they get transferred, not everybody's going to get that notification or see it. That's not a problem because in the Intulse app, in the desktop here, you're going to be able to clearly see, oh, Alfred Pennyworth is on the phone with reception. We'll pretend that this is the reception's extension. So an advisor could say, oh, well, I know that Alfred is one of my clients, so that call is probably going to be getting transferred back to me momentarily. You could click on Alfred's name, and we're going to give you some high-level information here that might be helpful. Like if you have any background information filled in his Wealthbox page or any important information, we'll show that right here. We'll also show you the last 90 days of call activity that has happened with that phone number. Now, there's one other thing that might be helpful here, and you guys might be thinking, well, what if it's a family phone number and there's multiple people in that household that could potentially be on the phone? All we know is that they called from a particular number and Alfred was the first record that was created, so we defaulted to him. But what if it's actually Bruce Wayne who's actually calling? I can switch to Bruce's information right here, see his background and important, and I'm one click away from going into his record. So again, no need to frantically search into Wealthbox and try to find a contact that's on the phone. We've already made that connection for you based on the phone number, and you can just click and get there right away, very, very quickly, easily, and efficiently. So that's a little bit about the information that's provided on an incoming call or an outbound call. It's going to show up the same way. There's another thing that I want to show here while we're in this particular area is the fact that this call is currently being recorded. You have an option to get your system set up to automatically record calls or do them on demand or whatever, and you can start and stop call recording anytime you want, which is what I'm doing here right now. Now, as soon as this call ends, we're going to create a record in Wealthbox that looks something like this. So let me go ahead and expand this note so we can see a little bit more detail. Intulse developer would be the advisor who actually hung this phone call up. So they get credit with having this phone call, and they had it with this Bruce Wayne person. This is the phone number that was with. We show you the direction of the call, that it was outbound, the day and the time, the duration, and again, the phone number that it was with. This is helpful from a logging perspective, that you know that the activity actually happened, but you don't know much about the call itself. You don't really have any context. So what we do is we give you the ability that when you're on an active call, you can just click Create Log, choose which record you want to log to. In this case, I'm going to log to Alfred, and you would just type in a brief subject and as few or as many notes as you want to add about that call while you're on it. You can even hang the call up and finish typing in here after the fact. We're not going to automatically log this call until you've finished typing here, since you opened this box. And once you do that, then what we're going to do is we're going to create a more comprehensive log for you, because this is what you typed in for the subject, and this is what was typed in for the note. Plus you get all of the system information, and you notice here this download button, which means the call was recorded, and that's a download link to download that call recording that I can listen to at any time in the future that I want to. So super helpful, super valuable. And again, all you need to do is make and receive phone calls just like you're doing now, but because of the integration with Wealthbox, you're going to get the logging of the activity and log to the correct place automatically without you needing to remember or to do anything. So I'm going to stop that call right here, and I'm going to go into a couple of scenarios of how you can generate outbound calls very, very quickly and easily. Probably the most convenient way is to just come in here. You're already in Wealthbox. You're looking at a contact. You're like, oh, I need to give Alfred a call. Instead of, without the Intulse integration, you would click the phone icon natively from Wealthbox. Once you have an Intulse integration, you'll click the actual phone number, and then you're going to get this option here to start a call or to send a text message. And you just click start a call, and it's dialing just like that through this browser interface right here. So if you don't have the browser running, or you don't have it enabled for the virtual phone and you have a physical desk phone, it'll just ring your desk phone and send the call out through your phone. Super easy and convenient. The other thing that you may want to do is you may want to send a quick text message, which you're going to be able to do, and you'll just choose or which phone number you want to actually send that call from. And then you would put your message in here, and you could actually browse for a file or an image to attach to it and click send. And just like that, you have sent that text message to that person who's in Wealthbox. And then we're going to log that into Wealthbox. And it's going to look something like this. So at the end of every day, we are going to take all of the messages that you sent to a specific phone number and all the message that they sent back, and show you that conversation in one convenient note, rather than cluttering up your recent history with all of those individual responses. We're going to create one for you. Now, on the Intulse side of things, you're going to have the history from the very first message that was ever sent to the most recent, and you're going to see that as a running history, just like you would normally expect to see that on your cell phone and text history. But we're going to do it at the end of every day for you in Wealthbox. The other thing that I was going to mention about texting is, I showed you what it looks like, one click to text. There's another thing that you can actually do, which can be convenient for responding, would be to look at your recent history. So let's say that Alfred left you a brief or a lengthy voicemail message, or he called in and he didn't leave a message because he didn't get you. and you realize, man, if I call Alfred back, I'm probably going to be stuck on the phone for a little bit longer than I really want to commit to. So let me just send him a quick message. And you can just type in here, got your message. And yes, we are good for lunch tomorrow. That's it. That's all you need to do. Now you've confirmed with him that you got his message and you responded to it. And here's what it looks like on the Intulse side. If he responds, it's going to show up over here. And at the end of the day, we're going to log that into Wealthbox for you. So again, super helpful and convenient. While I was focused on the larger screen over on the desktop side of things, all of the functionality that I showed you, with the exception of the call notification on an incoming call, that's a browser function. Everything else works in the app on your mobile device in exactly the same way. So here's a use case scenario. You're on your mobile device and you'd like to call Alfred and let him know you're running late for a lunch meeting, or you just want to give him a call because he asked you to call him back. You know that he's in Wealthbox, but you don't know his phone number off the top of your head. So you just start typing a name. There we go. So there's only one match so far that's in any of the databases or contacts that are connected with this particular phone system. But here it is, and you can see the icon beside his name so that you know this is Alfred in Wealthbox. I can just touch his name, touch his phone number, and just like that, I am calling him from my mobile device. But because I used the Intulse app to make that call, the caller ID is going to be my business number. The call is going to get logged in Wealthbox. It has the ability to be recorded. I could start call recording right here. And I have that high level information about the information from Wealthbox available here in the palm of my hand as well. So I think that is probably sufficient relative to the integration. There's a whole host of other functions and features that are available here in the Intulse phone system, like video and audio conferencing, chat, internal chat, SMS messaging, faxing for those of you who would still need to do e-faxing. We can handle that for you. A lot of voicemail functionality. So for those of you who already have a voice over IP phone solution, the functionality that you're currently enjoying, you would still have using Intulse. But what you get in addition is this amazing integration that's going to help you to be more efficient and effective at your day-to-day. So with that, Jen, I'm going to take